Around YouTube, it is Charles here, aka Uncle Blurred, and if you watch this channel, you know that I love G.I. Joe, especially the action figures from the Classified line. Today I have a fun one. One of my first, I think my first Cobra figure was Cobra Commander. And while this is a great figure, aesthetically it has practical limitations, primarily to do with this big overcoat that hinders leg movement. And while it looks great, not great for action shots when you're doing photography with it. So I wanted to get a more photography posing friendly version of Cobra Commander. We have the retro card Cobra Enemy Classified line, and we got this Cobra Commander right here with the more cartoony aesthetic with the lighter blue. Then the action figure I currently have in my collection. So let's get into it. As always with these reviews, I use a 3A criteria. I'm talking appearance, articulation, and accessories. And I am not a mint on card collector, so this guy is not staying in the box. There we go. And then the cool thing about these retro cards too, I should have did this before I opened it, but you see here on the back you have a card that tells you about the character that you have, role, enemy leader, specialty, intelligence, secondary specialty, ordnance, experimental weaponry, birthplace, cap classified, and yeah, a little short biography here. This fanatical leader rules with an iron fist. He demands total loyalty and allegiance. His main battle plan for world control relies on revolution and chaos. And I do have the Sergeant Stalker from this line. So, there we go. Start off with the stand there. Yeah, I just recorded a review of a Mattel figure, and I gotta say, doing these back to back, I really do appreciate the simplicity with which these guys come out of the packaging. Oh, drop the fist. Oh no, that was a hand. So these accessories, I gotta say, so far, they're looking interesting. They're sparse, but novel. The one piece I've not seen in this line before, so that's a good thing. And then we always have the problems getting the knife out of the plastic because it's such a small piece. And they tape it over completely. Here we go. So we got it out of the packaging here. And let's take a look at this, starting with appearance. We have the classic cartoon aesthetic, the big Cobra sign on the front of the chest there, the helmet, white stripe on top. I love the way that the silver glistens on my old Cobra Commander figure. It's more of a gold coating that this really shines and reflects. I am a huge fan of that. And then we have, you know, a little detail of a powder blue turtleneck going down. You know, we have the uniform going around that. I love the fact that there are lots of layers and texture here. A lot of times with these figures we'll get a flat texture and paint, But here, even though everything is that dark blue, there's different textures and feels to each part, and even little details like the buttons. Not only are they painted silver, but they stick out. And I think that with such a simple colors palette, we have blue, maroon, and black and silver. A way to really get the most out of that basic color palette is to vary the textures. And this figure does that all the way up and down. Again, and in comparison to my old figure, we don't have the big overcoat to hinder the leg movement here. So I am a big fan of this. And then let's go on to articulation. Speaking of movement, head is on a ball joint, goes all the way around, full range of motion, hindered slightly backward by the helmet, but not too much. I haven't really enough worth mentioning. Going down, we have a butterfly cut on the chest and back for extended range, behind and across the body. Arms go all the way around, and then we have a horizontal cut at the bicep for left to right movement. We have double jointed pinless elbows that are fairly stiff coming out of the packaging. Don't force those. Either use warm water, or what I like to do is I will set it by my laptop when I'm doing something on my laptop. That subtle heat coming out of the vent will loosen these up perfectly, but do not force them, whatever you do. And then we have a little left to right movement here at the top of the glove, which I like, using that second piece to add another point of articulation. And then we have the hands. They go all the way around, and then as always with these gun hands, instead of going in and out, they go backward and forward for gun positioning. So I really like that. Going to the torso is on a rocker, and then the hips swivel slightly, but you're not going to get a lot of movement out of them. The legs are on a ball joint, so you get a full range of motion there. You have a cut in the thigh for left to right movement. Again, very stiff, but I really have to stiff out the box than too loose. And then we have pinless, double jointed knees. And we have no calf cut. But we do have, correction, we have an ankle cut for left to right horizontal movement. And I see why they did it there, to avoid an unnecessary line. They put it right above where you're going to get the wrinkles of the fabric at the cuff. So that's a very clever thing they did there with the articulation, moving it lower on the calf right above the ankle to avoid unnecessary lines. And the foot goes back and forward and side to side. Tremendous range of motion there. And so I really dig that. And then next we have accessories. We have multiple hands. We have the gripping / gun hands. We have fist. And we have the pointing hand like you see on my other Cobra figure. So full range of motion on hands there. And then we have a knife with a black blade, silver blade, black handle. Again, like the multi-textures here. Now here's where things get interesting, because you notice that he has a relatively big sidearm here. But we have no holster, at least in the traditional sense, but we have this piece right here, which I have not seen before. It has a peg on it, so it goes on the back. And I believe that this sidearm is holstered on the actual back. Yes, it actually fits. So this is interesting. Trying to figure out how it fits in here. I think it either goes that way or maybe this way. But yeah, it's a small accessory. I will give it credit for being novel. Out of my numerous G.I. Joes, I've not seen this before. Makes it stand out. And so, yeah, for appearance, I give it an A. articulation, and A. And for accessories, I will give it a B because the hands are pretty run of the mill. The accessory, while novel, is not really practical. And, to have Cobra Commander only come with one gun, it's the guy that leads Cobra. He has one gun and a knife, a small sidearm. I think you could have given him a rifle or even like this signature weapon here, which is a rather ornate, looks like almost a flintlock pistol, mixed with a sword that actually comes in a sheath. There are a lot more details on this older Cobra Commander, but with the loss of the detail, we gain articulation with the retro card Cobra Commander. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this Cobra Commander retro card. Will you be adding it to your collection? Do you have it in your collection? If you guys like the video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and if you want to contribute to the growth of this channel, you can buy me a coffee with the link on the screen right now. But I will see you guys next time. Until then, keep buying action figures. I am out.